Hello everybody, welcome to Vigilant Citizen. My name is Josh. Thanks for joining out here in the beautiful mountain air. I've taken a couple days off of work and I'm just sitting out here and not thinking about anything, although I just recently started thinking about something. And since the dogs are wiped, there's my big fat knee there. There's Kepler. And then please hold. And there's Jarvo. They're wiped. Been out here doing some hiking. Got some whiskey, although it's really good. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to finish it. It's called Deer Hammer. It is an American single malt. And it was recommended to me by one of the locals here in the town that I'm visiting. I stopped in for a drink before I did a little bit of shopping for some gifts, not for myself. And as I walked into town, I just stopped in, got a small drink, and he recommended this, and I picked up some before I left, so I'll have this for the ride home tomorrow. No, I kid. But it's been really nice getting the cool, fresh mountain air, just letting everything out, like not thinking about much of anything. It's occurred to me that I probably don't go on as many adventures as I should anymore. My wife and I used to do stuff like this all the time, and she couldn't join me this time, but just having the dogs up here, going on these long hikes, getting some sun, running into people who I don't know, and just interacting with different people, and just taking these little mini excursions, little mini adventures for the last 2-3 days has reinvigorated something inside me that I forgot I had. I think the past 2 years have really worked to crush that side of me, and so I guess that's one message I have for you all today is don't lose that adventurous spirit. If you're into something and it calls to you and you have good reasons to stop doing it or to slow it down, I mean, that's okay, but at some point you should probably get back into it. It's important in life to bear all the responsibility that you can, but there is a possibility that you could bear too much responsibility, and then you're just not enjoying life. So I kind of wonder if that's what I've been doing lately. Just go. Get work done. Do a lot of stuff. Take care of the house. Take care of the animals. Take care of the chickens. Take care of the dogs. Make sure everything's working. Everything's running the way it should. Sorry, bear with me again. I don't have a tripod anymore. I gotta get a replacement, but I wonder if it's been too much. Sometimes you just gotta get out and just get a break and yeah, just let your space out for a bit. And speaking of spacing out, that's also what I've been doing. Reading some H.P. Lovecraft, Tales of Horror. I love this guy. He's got some crazy stuff. It took me a couple days off and on, but I read The Dream Quest of Unknown Kadath. The man is insane, or was insane. And I think that's quite literal, too, the poor guy. But as with every Lovecraftian tale of terror, it was more about the journey than the actual destination. Because I got to the end, I closed the book, and I just sat there for a moment contemplating what the hell I'd actually read. And what did it actually mean? And I'm not sure, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm babbling now because I'm enjoying it out here so much, so I just wanted to share it all with you. Man, look at that. Okay, there actually is sun. It's just my head is oh, God, it's too bright now, though. So you're just going to have to deal with me looking like raccoon eyes. But I had some thoughts while I was just sitting out here, just contemplating nothing, on how to change somebody's mind. And I think it's important to know that you can't change anybody's mind. Well, give them enough whiskey, they may believe anything. They may be more receptive to anything. But in order to change somebody's mind, I think really the Socratic method is the most useful, or something like the Socratic method. And you have to go in, ironically, without the goal of changing somebody's mind, right? This has worked for me a lot, and this is kind of the Benjamin Franklin school of thought too, is you don't go in and tell somebody they're wrong and why they're wrong and how you're right and you know something about something. What is best to do is say something along the lines of, oh, I've observed this, or I've seen this to be the case. That's the Benjamin Franklin school of thought. He mentions that in his autobiography, that it's better to interact with people that way, because then you're not saying, I know this for a fact, even if you might, but it might come off a little more soft and more receptive to others if you say, oh, I've seen it go this way, but tell me more about what you're thinking, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Right? Some people aren't receptive to that. They'll just steamroll over you, and then you just walk away. That's fine. They can believe whatever they want. Who cares what other people believe? Who cares what they believe, right? Earlier today, this guy on a motorcycle, I think he thought I cut him off, and it was kind of close. I had a yield sign, and I was turning in, and he did have right-of-way, so I stopped, but he started like yelling at me while he was in the intersection. And he was like, hey, asshole, like yelling so loud so everybody else could hear. And I stopped and I waved, like, hey, sorry, bud, it's all yours. But he kept screaming, kept yelling as he passed by. And then I got on the road behind him, and he takes a right turn into a parking lot, and he's still screaming at me. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, you have problems. You have problems, dude. You got some serious problems. Maybe you should go get that checked out. Are you hurt? Are you okay? Did your feelings get hurt? But how did I get onto that? Talking about changing somebody's mind. It's the altitude. It's the altitude with this, I'm telling you. But anyway, using the Socratic method and Benjamin Franklin's mode of thought there is, it's best not to directly confront what somebody thinks and what somebody believes. It is better to just gently guide them towards what you might be thinking. And a lot of times when people tell me, this is the way it should be. Sorry, there's people out here now, so I don't want to draw too much attention to myself. It's the groundskeeper. He loves dogs though, so that's cool. Don't ask them when they tell you it's this way, this is unnecessary, this is necessary. Whenever they state just what they think is a fact, but is probably not a fact, then just say, well, why? Well, tell me more about that. Well, what's going on there? Well, what do you think in that? And then they start to dig into their own line of thought. And if you keep questioning them, and not in a pressuring way, in a genuine search after the truth, in a genuine inquisitive nature to really understand the why, because you never know, they could be right about something that you're not aware of. So ask them why, ask them how, dig deep, tell them to explain it in their own words. And if they say that, well, this has done this and this and this, then say, well, can you show me? I have a friend, and I know you're watching, dear friend, who once told me that so-and-so in the national spotlight was a certain type of person. I'm just not going to go into details, right? Because it kind of delves into politics. And I told my friend, I was like, well, can you show me any instance in which it reveals that person's character in the way that you've described it? Because I haven't seen it. And this was genuine. I said, I genuinely haven't seen it. Can you show me where this person has behaved in such a way that you would characterize them in the manner which you just did? And they said, well, I'll go look and I'll go find out. And they came back and they said, I haven't really found anything. And I said, is it possible, I don't know for sure, but because I don't watch the news, but is it possible the news is not being completely honest with you? And this person said, well, I suppose that's a possibility. And I said, well, tell you what, keep looking. And if you find any video of this particular individual that reveals, again, the character in which, in the manner in which you've described them, then let me know. But they came back and they said, I've not found anything. This calls into question the people that I've been listening to for talk shows or national news or whatever. And it wasn't my intent to get this person to change their mind. They did it themselves. So that's another point, is that they have to be, the person whose mind you potentially want to change has to be receptive to new information, has to be receptive to having their mind changed. And if they're not, there's no point. You can be as inquisitive as you want. You could bring them all the facts you want. You could show them the truth. The heavens could peel open and God could come down and bestow a blessing upon them, and they may still say, "No, I don't believe." So you have to make sure that the people who you are trying to get to change their perception are willing to change their perception, that they're actually open to new ideas, that they want to learn, that they want to be somebody who can grow. Lots of people don't want that. The guy who I cut off earlier today, he's not a grower. He's never going to grow. He's got mental problems up the wazoo, and he's just going to keep screaming at people until he dies of cirrhosis of the liver or something. So that's my message for you today, is try to change the minds of those who are receptive, but don't literally try to change their minds. Just be inquisitive and help them think through their own thoughts, and they'll get there. They'll get there themselves. And you know what? You'll probably learn something on the way. And that's probably even more important than changing somebody else's mind, is changing your own mind, because now you have new facts, new ideas, and new thoughts to dig through. And before you know it, as you're doing this with other people, sure, they're growing, but you're growing too. And that's probably more important, and something that you can carry with you throughout the rest of your life. All right, everybody. Thanks for everything. Oh, there's my hand. Thanks for everything. I'm going to leave you with this nice, picturesque view. Thanks so much for joining. There's Jarvis. And there's Kepler. You all stay vigilant, and I will see you next time.